Hi all, welcome to our channel. In this video, I am going to explain the important interview questions in Java. Questions are, can we run a Java program without compilation? Very important interview question. Can we run a Java program without compiling the code? And the second question is, can a Java source file contain more than one public class? Is it possible that a Java program should contain more than one public class? I will explain these two interview questions in this session. If you consider the Java programming language is a high level language. Java programming language is a high level language. What is a high level language? High level languages are nothing but user friendly languages. User friendly languages are nothing but these are very easily understandable by the users. Users are nothing but programmers. These are very easily understandable by the users means programmers. User understands only these high level programming languages, whereas the machine understands only low level languages. So we need a translator. To convert these high level language into the low level languages. In Java we are having the compiler to convert high level language programs into intermediate code, not directly to the machine code. Intermediate code is nothing but the dot class file. This is nothing but intermediate code. This intermediate code is nothing but dot class file, which is also known as bytecode file. This is not the machine understandable form. This is the intermediate language. This is the intermediate code. Okay, and then again we need a translator to convert this dot class file into the which one? Machine level language. That translator is nothing but JVM. JVM will take this dot class file. Okay, and converts the dot class file into the corresponding operating system and machine understandable form. Because of this JVM, Java language is platform independent programming language. Because of which one? JVM. First of all, compiler converts the high level language into the intermediate code, that is the bytecode or dot class file. Next, JVM will take this dot class file and convert that one into the corresponding operating system and machine understandable form. Because of this JVM, Java is which one? Platform independent programming language. Our question is, can we run a Java program without compilation? Coming to this flow of execution, it is not possible to run a Java program without its compilation. Whereas coming to the Python programming language, okay, in Python, we can run a Python program without compiling the code. We can run a Python program directly without compiling that particular code. How to execute a program directly in Python without compiling the code? Syntax is py space program name py space program name .py or python space program name .py. We can use the first syntax or the second syntax to execute a program directly without compiling the code in Python. Why? Because in Python there is no compiler. Okay, who will execute the programs? PVM, Python virtual machine, will execute the programs in Python. Whereas in Java, we need a compiler to convert high level language into the bytecode file, that is dot class file. Next, JVM will take this dot class file and convert that one into the corresponding operating system and a machine understandable form. Okay, but coming to our question, can we run a Java program without compilation? Answer for that question is yes. Yes. We can run a Java program without its compilation. We can run a Java program without compiling the Java code. It is possible in Java. Because of which feature? Because of one of the important feature. That feature is launch single file. Source code programs. Because of this feature only, Because of this feature only, we can execute the Java programs directly. We can execute the Java programs directly without compiling the code. Okay, and this feature is available in Java 11 version. This feature is available in which version? Java 11 version. Okay, so what is our question? Can we run a Java program without compilation? What is your solution? Yes, it is possible to run a Java program without compilation because of which feature? Launch single file source code programs feature in which version? Java 11 version. Okay, this feature allows us to execute a Java program directly without compilation. Our .java program is compiled in the memory internally. Our .java program is compiled in the memory internally, and that is executed by the which one? Java interpreter without creating the .class file. Without creating the .class file. That is the important one. Without creating the .class file, our source program is compiled in the memory and it is executed directly by the Java interpreter without creating the .class file. Okay, so when we use this feature, launch single file source code programs, .class files will not be generated. .class files will not be generated. As the name specifies, what is this one, ma? Single file. Okay, and the limitation or the restriction of this one is single file. Okay, a Java program may have, or a Java file may have n number of classes, but it should have how many files? Only single file. That means all the classes should be within the single file only. A Java program may have n number of classes, but all the classes should be in a single file only. That is the important limitation of this feature, single file source code programs. Okay, so this is my single file, this is my Java program which contains n number of classes. These classes may be either public classes, or normal classes. Normal classes are nothing but default classes. Okay, so coming to this feature, single file means your source code should be in a single file. This entire file is nothing but a single file, that is our Java file. This file contains n number of classes. These classes may be either public classes or default classes. Okay, how many access modifiers? 4 access modifiers: public, private, protected, as well as default. We cannot use private and protected for which one? Classes. We can use only either default or public coming to our classes. Okay, so this feature, this single file contains maybe n number of public classes or n number of default classes, n number of public classes or n number of default classes. Okay, next, what is the syntax? To execute a Java program directly without its compilation? Okay, without compilation. Coming to the Python, what is the syntax? Python space program name .py. In the similar way, the syntax in Java is Java space program name dot Java. This is the syntax to run a Java program directly without its compilation. Assume that this source file contains 5 classes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of these 5 classes, the first class is treated as which one? The main class. By default, the first class is treated as the main class. That is the important feature. Okay, coming to the execution of this one, first of all take the Python language, file, new, others, Python. Okay, this is the sample code in Python. Save this one, Control S, desktop, programs. Save this one with 1.py. Already .py extension is available, so same with 1. Okay, next coming to the command prompt, cmd. So how to execute that one? py space 1.py. What is the output? Python. Or you can use the syntax Python space 1.py. Python. Coming to the Java. File, new, Java, class A, class B. Assume that this is my Java code which contains how many classes? Two classes, class A as well as class B within a single file. Okay. I want to execute this program directly without compiling the code. So save this one, Control S. How to save this one? If there is no public class in the source program, then we can save with any user defined name. I am using the name as sample. Okay. Next, how to execute this sample.java program directly without its compilation? The syntax is java space sample.java, java space sample.java. Okay, what is the output ma? A. If you observe in the background, there is no dot class file. Okay, how many classes are there in sample.java? Two classes are there, class A and class B. Okay, so no dot class file is created. Okay, so this is the feature. What is this feature? Launch single file source code programs. If you observe carefully the output, even though it contains two classes, class A and class B, the output is A. Means even though it contains two classes, what is the first class? Class A. That is treated as the main class and that is executed directly by the Java interpreter. Okay. Even though there are n number of classes, the first class is treated as the which one? Main class. That class will execute. Then how to execute the remaining classes? By calling the main function from this class, we can execute the remaining classes, not a problem. Consider the second example, public class C, public class D. How many public classes are there in my source file? Two public classes are there. In general, a Java program should contain how many public classes? At most one public class only. But this Java program contains how many public classes? Two public classes. Is it possible in Java or not? In general, it is not possible. But because of which feature? Single file source code programs feature. This single file may contain n number of public classes, not a problem. So use this one, save this one, Control S. Here I am using the feature launch single file source code program. So I am saving this program with any user defined name, example.java. Okay. Coming to the command prompt, java space example.java, java space example.java. What is your output? C. C. That means in that feature, what is the important point? A Java file may contain n number of public classes, not a problem. But what is the main class? The first class will become the main class. If you try to compile this code, by using the javac command, javac example.java. If you try to compile this code by using the normal compilation procedure, javac example.java, then you will get errors. Why? Because here there are two public classes, public class C and public class D. Okay, class C is public, should be declared in a file name c.java. Again, class D is public, should be declared in a file name d.java. If we try to compile this program normally, then we will get errors. Why? Because a Java program should have at most one public class and we should save that program with that public class name only. But because of this feature, launch single file source code programs feature, a Java file may have n number of public classes, not a problem. We can save with any name, not a problem. But the important one is use the syntax as java space program name.java directly. This feature allows us to execute the Java programs directly without its compilation.